people don't know is the efforts that I've gone to resolve this privately, both with my brother and with my father.
Good morning to you. Well, his book is finally out, but has the public, well, now turned against Prince Harry? We're going to be asking Andrew Morton, Diana's former biographer, why speaking out worked for his mum, but might not necessarily be working for him. Also, staying with the royal fallout, Paul Carrick-Brunson has tips for, well, for healing family rifts.
Yes, Lorraine, from sibling rivalries to dealing with stepmothers, if you're like Prince Harry and want reconciliation, I have tips to help with family conflict.
Thank you, Paul. As well as that, from practical parkas to fleecy fabrics, we are keeping you dry and warm this January for as little as £5, would you believe? And well, he's already battling injuries and lots of rumours about his love life. Joey Essex, he's here ahead of his Dancing on Ice debut. Well, here we are, and he's still dominating the news this morning. Prince Harry remains on the front pages as a new poll reveals his popularity has fallen, with just a quarter of Brits now holding a positive view about the Prince. Well, yesterday he appeared on Good Morning America. We'll have more on that a little bit later. But of course, today, the book finally hits the shelves. And joining me now, GMB's Richard Gaisford. He's in a bookshop in Windsor. Richard, is there much of a queue? Is there a buzz? Is there excitement? What's happening?
Simply no queue, I have to say, Lorraine. There is no real rush here for spare in Royal Windsor. We're outside the walls of the castle. The royal household could pop across if they wanted to pick up a copy. The doors have been open here since 7 o'clock this morning, and they have just sold their third copy. 219 of them were sent to the shop here for sale. The expectation is, of course, that a lot will go today. Now, overnight, though, there have been some special events at bookshops around the country at midnight as the book officially went on sale. There was some clamour for it, I'd say, amongst those people desperate to get their hands on an early copy at Euston Station this morning. Here in this bookshop, you can see it's already placed at #1, and certainly the pre-orders for the book went up as some of those stories started to leak through over the last few days. Now it's time to get into the book itself, and I have to say, Lorraine, I find it to be really sad, actually. You get so much in this book of Prince Harry's reaction to his mother's death, all of the breakdowns of relationships within his family, and some really mundane stuff too. The fact that he goes shopping for bargains at a well-known discount store that can be found just up the road, that sort of thing. It is an interesting read, no doubt, for many, despite the fact a lot of us have got a good clue as to what's already in it. I wonder, Lorraine, I know you've had a look inside, what you made of it.
I read the whole thing, Richard, and I thought a very sensitive but rather damaged young man who, it's really interesting, you know what you were saying about all the mundane stuff. He seemed to absolutely relish, you know, going to the supermarket just to buy a pint of milk is like a big deal and very exciting. The obsession with the press, though, Richard, he let it rule his life, and I think that's really sad. I really do. I think he's got to let that go and just go and enjoy his life. But I really worth a read. Really worth a read. It's good to read it by yourself. But thank you for that. I hope he sells more than 3 copies this morning, because that's not great. But it's early days, early days. Thank you. Well, we've been asking online whether you will be buying Harry's book, and 15% of you said yes, you would. 85% of you said no, but I reckon that's probably because we've all been talking about it for so much. It's been in all the papers. You probably feel as if you've read it already. But it is very well written. The ghostwriter's done a great job. OK, joining me now, author Andrew Morton. Of course, you'll remember he wrote Princess Diana's biography in 1992. It was all in The Crown. We've just seen that. Andrew, good morning to you. It would seem, though, it's very interesting, isn't it? Because you wrote your book in secret. Obviously, you know, Diana was very much involved. You know, she did the tapes and everything. Our son has done it out on the open. Was it the right thing for him to do you think?
Well, in many respects, it's rebounded on him because, as you mentioned earlier, his popularity has plunged in Britain.